Hey there, and thank you for coming to Songs and Stories with Caroline Parke. I'm here in the Fourth Meridian Brewing Company, and today we're going to be talking to Lloydminster's own Kenny Mack.
Hello.
Kenny, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
You're the top of my list.
Top? Ooh.
Yeah.
Lucky me.
How long have you been making music for?
Oh, man.
I'm dying to know.
You know, music's been in me forever. Like, I remember my mom, singing a song to me when I was like 3, thinking, like, I don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong. Like, this woman can't carry a tune. She's, you know, so looking back, I remember, like, it's always kind of been in me. And when I seriously decided I want to pursue music, I think I was 17. And it's so good when you can get those dreams when you haven't been shattered, you know, like in life, you know, because you're young and you're like, I'm going to take over the world. And then, so that's what you set out to do, right? Because you don't really know what to do. So, you know, and then one thing led to another, and I've just been, you know, got a band and just been playing music. And, you know, there was a time where I was intending to, you know, make it my career. And along the way, you know, things happen where you, maybe just it doesn't work out for whatever reason here or there. And then it came to a point in my life where I had to decide whether I'm going to be traveling across Canada in a beat up old van and pursue it. And by that time I had, you know, a wife and 2 young girls. And by that time I'd quit drinking too. So it's amazing how quitting drinking views your life about, you know, music full time. Because when you first start out, like, you're playing bars, you're playing for peanuts, you're playing for tips, you're playing for, and if you don't drink and there's no party, like, you know, I'm not looking for girls. So there's like, really, it's only for the music. And if the music isn't doing it anymore. So anyway, I decided to stay home and be a dad instead, and, you know, and work. And I still play music, and people still want to hear me play. So I still have my band going, and I'm still writing music, and still loving it. So I just may not be putting out 100 records out there as well, right? You know, but I mean,
but you're living life at the same time. And I think that's adulting is just being able to juggle all these things that life gives us. And do the best we can with it all.
100%. Well, I mean, you're in the same boat, right?
So, absolutely. How old are your kids?
Well, one is 23.
Okay.
And one is 20.
Okay.
So it was a good decision for me to, you know, not be away from home. And you build relationships with my girls, and now, you know, we're seeing the fruit of that. And my wife and I still are best friends, and, you know, like, it's
there's a wholeness there, and the richness. Are your children musical at all?
They are.
Oh, okay.
Both girls can sing circles around
better than grandma.
No offense, grandma, she has a lot of real good things to her. You know, singing just isn't one of it. And I have a twin sister as well, and unfortunately she can't sing
she
either,
didn't get the gene.
No, didn't get the gene.
Gee, that's funny how that works.
It is. Like, I remember being a kid, and my mom's brothers would be just having a hoedown, playing the guitar, singing songs, and I don't know, I was like, I got to do that. That has to be me. Like, for whatever reason, right? You know, like, how did you get into it?
Me?
Same kind of idea, right? Like, you're probably around it when you were a little kid, and
you know, we listened to the radio and records for years and years, so I didn't know that I was going to be a musician until I held a guitar when I was like 24. But I knew I was a music fan. I'd say from the time I was 8 or 9, I realized that it was like, I think I didn't know, but I realized that I felt it very deeply. But I didn't know that that's not normal. Or it's not average.
Right.
Like, the average person doesn't feel the music as much as, you know, and I remember listening to, like, Don't Take the Girl, or some of those old, there's a song called Patches. It's like a it's a terrible story actually, and I just remember crying and crying about it, you know. And I looked for it for years, and it was a long time before it was finally on YouTube. And
that is a crazy song.
It is a crazy, and I remember lamenting as like a 10-year-old over this song, and I named my dog Patches actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Eh?
Yeah.
Well, my first real emotional experience with music, I think, was The Lonely Shepherd by Zamfir. So he's a famous, George Zamfir is a famous pan flute player.
Okay.
And my dad, he was a big fan of music, and he had a couple cassettes and for whatever reason, it was that specific piece. And then if you have seen it or heard it, I mean, it's so beautiful. And sometimes I'll be just driving around, you know, in the middle of a work day or whatever, and it'll come on, and I'll be like, oh man, and it just hits me. It's just one of those, and it's, you know, move me to tears. Like, and so today I could hear a brand new song and it could move me to tears, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I kind of thought everybody was that way sort of thing too, but it's good to, I don't know. I tell everybody, if you want to really feel music, start a band. Get a band and go out there and play music. And, you know, like, there's nothing more satisfying. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, learn 3 chords and just sit there with your guitar
Go for it.
and play songs for yourself, like for your own, like, satisfaction or fulfillment, or like, it's maybe not everybody gets it, but I remember it just being a big deal. Like, music for me was something that, you know, consoled me and was there for a lot of times when, I don't know,
when you didn't know where else to go, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
And writing as a younger person is a lot different than writing as an older person, because, like, now if I were to sit down and write a song, it would be a lot more pinpointed. But back then, you're kind of like, oh, this girl hurt me or whatever, right? Like, you could just, like, there's a million, billion to gajillion things you could write about. But now, after it's been, you know, like, we've been in music a while, and it's just like, you're not really going to write a song about somebody that hurt you, right?
Right.
Because it's been done, it's been heard, it's been said, it's been...
Not sure the world needs more of those ones, right?
So now you're thinking of a different way. Like, I heard a guy one time in a songwriting forum, and he was like, you know, like, you could, and somebody could take this, because I'm not going to write it, he said, but, you know, instead of writing a song about how your girlfriend or your wife left, write a song from the perspective of the suitcase, you know, that she's packing up. So the suitcase is watching her do all these things. I thought, that's just different ways that you can kind of train your brain into, you know, picking up different ideas, right? So,
yeah.
Kind of
put a different spin on the storyline that has been, if the storyline's been done it before,
which it has. Like, I mean, and who doesn't love a love song? Like, I mean, I if I could get away with it, like on a family road trip, to just play slow, sad songs
the whole way,
I'd be happy.
I'm sure they would think there's an element of torture there.
They wouldn't like it though. It's like, I think my wife even had a rule: no slow songs allowed.
Yeah,
but that's not my rule. But so it's I don't know. You really get to bury your heart and your soul when you're singing a power ballad, you know,
right?
Something that's really just ripping people's hearts out, and you're just like ripping your own heart out. There's something about it, you know. In my opinion. But don't get me wrong, I do like the old foot stomping tunes as well. So.
Yeah, they go a long ways.
They do.
That's why they're still around, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what's your process like when you come up with a concept for a song, or does it stir in you for a while, or does it just all come out at once? Or
that's a good question. It's different each time. Like, I'm always amazed when I sit down and tell myself I'm not leaving until the song's written. Okay. And then the song gets written. Or it could be with me, like, I've got these things that have been with me for like 10 years that just, the song, like, it needs somebody else's opinion or whatever to finish it or whatever. But usually it's just an idea. Sometimes it'll be like kind of a line, or it'll be like even a little bit of a melody. And for me, when it's the melody, that's a lot it's a lot easier for me to put something to
lyrically on top, or
well, I struggle to be able to, like, if you were to come to me with a structured melody, and to put words around that would be tough. But if I could take that melody with my words at the same time, I think I could do it. So for me, it's kind of like they're hand in hand. But I can, like, just kind of now that you have like iPhones and stuff, like you have a voice recorder with you, it's nice if I get an idea. It's usually an idea first, and then I try to kind of work with it, and then I'll sit down with my guitar and pick a couple strings or a couple chords and just kind of see what comes to mind. And a lot of times it builds out of like just one sentence,
Yeah.
I build a whole song around that.
I do. I have a list of one-liners.
Yeah. Yeah.
A running document that I'm just like, I'll save that for a rainy day.
Some might get written and some might never, right?
Yeah.
So maybe one day somebody will find them and, take them.
I'm sure they'll just be deleted.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah.
Half-written songs, like, no, thank you. I don't want to deal with that.
I know, eh?
Yeah.
Like there's quite a difference between performing a song that you wrote and performing a song that somebody else wrote.
Yeah.
It's just different when it's yours, right? And it's always such an amazing thing to me when you're done. When you wrote a song, you're like, nobody in the world's ever heard this. This is a brand new song.
Yeah.
I can, like, it's so exciting and it's so much fun. And even if like other people don't really get it, or it's such a feeling of accomplishment.
Special. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
I remember
if you wrote a book or
the
something.
first couple of songs I wrote, I just thought there was nothing. And now there's this.
Now there's a song.
Yeah, and I'm going to record it. It's going to be a project. And it is
That's awesome.
so exciting, hey?
Yeah, it is.
Do you do storytelling songs, or do you do simple kind of anthems, or
both?
Oh, both.
I do
both.
both. Yeah. So, like today I'll sing one that's kind of a story song that was I wrote about from the perspective of a cancer survivor.
Okay.
I used to be asked to do a lot of stuff for like hope. What was it called? Sorry. The cancer walk around the park. Anyway, I used to.
Was it Relay for Life?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
I partook in it once too.
Okay.
They were walking around till like midnight or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were asking me to do a song, and their theme song was going to be Mariah Carey song, and it was like, I forget which one it was, and it was just awful, and I hated it.
No, most people
it.
cannot sing along to Mariah Carey.
True,
right?
Like, but this was one that you actually could, but it was just like the lyrics were, it was, whoever wrote the song is just obviously not,
singability is important.
Not good. Like it was and for me to say that about somebody, like obviously she's, somewhere and I haven't been, but anyway, so I figured, well, if I write a song and pitch it to them, maybe they'll allow me to do that instead of the other ones. So I think it was Hero by Mariah Carey. Is that a song?
Yeah, I could sing that.
Yeah. Oh, man. I hate
or
that
parts
song.
of it, yeah.
But anyway.
We're going back to the mid-90s, right?
Well, listen to the lyrics next time.
No,
I they're
know.
bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wrote a song, and my wife's mom unfortunately had passed away from cancer. So I kind of got into that whole mind space and kind of like, what would she think or say if she were here? Because that Relay for Life has been such an emotional thing. They have music and you're playing like, till the sun comes up sometimes, and all these cancer survivors are there, and they've had the whole night to just kind of reflect on what they've gone through. And so I really wanted to capture that, writing this song about, and so that'll be definitely a story song. So, and then there's another song that I don't know if I'll get to or not, but it's just basically a story about I wrote about an ex-girlfriend, and I was playing it one time, and she came into the bar, and I was like, yeah, this one's for you. I don't know if you can really hear from the mixing or whatever, but it was really cool when I got to sing it to her. I don't think she heard it or would know the lyrics or whatever, but that one was called You're Just a Woman. And which, it's kind of funny, but yeah. You'll have to hear it, but maybe I won't play it. Maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see what comes. And then some, they usually do have some kind of a story to them, I'd say, to answer your question with a real long answer. Yeah. They usually a story. I don't have any really like silly ditties or whatever. I guess I do have a couple songs that I'd actually written that I stopped singing because of just kind of where I was in life and stuff. So good old honky tonk beer drinking songs. And I'm not really there. I don't feel that. And they're still pretty good songs. Like one was, I can't really talk about it. So
yeah. There's that whole genre of songs that it's like, I don't know if it's worth singing about anymore, you know, because there's so many things in the world that are so cruel, and you're almost giving them a voice, you know, and really I think we need to give positivity.
And the world changes too. And so
there's a time and a place for party songs, you know, but they're not my bag either. I feel like I crave the substance, you know, of like living life and feeling all the emotions and processing them in a kind of in a healthy way, right?
Make you cry,
right?
Like if I haven't made you cry,
then
I haven't done my job. You know, I need to make you cry. No, I'm just kidding. I like to make people cry.
We should get a box of Kleenex right here, and then I'll feel like I'm ready for it.
Psychologically, I don't know what that says about me. If I enjoy making people cry from my music, I don't enjoy it, but I know that you've hit a chord.
I do. I don't want to say I wouldn't say I enjoy it either, but man, is it meaningful when you see someone pick up what you're putting down and you know you've communicated, right?
I don't enjoy making people cry.
That's the quote from this episode.
He enjoys making people cry.
Kenny Mac.
Of all the things that we've said.
Town crier.
Town crier. Never mind. Anyway.
So do you have any albums or?
I don't. I had been close a few times. And you know how it goes.
So it's on your bucket list to do an album?
Oh yeah. Like I've got a working band right now. And we're sounding really good. And I can't really say that about all my bands because it takes so much work and it takes so much like to gel into, you know, like I have a fiddle player in my band now, and she's just amazing. Just transforms the sound of our music.
Yeah, they go a long way.
Oh,
you know what they say?
If you can play it.
Gotta have a fiddle in the band.
Yeah, that's right. Now we can play in Texas.
So
that's good. And so we have a 6-piece band, and this time around I'm doing it because I love it, not because I'm trying to make something of myself. And there's a difference.
So
there's a real difference.
How did you all come together?
Well, there's a couple from my old iterations. Like my drummer, he's been one of my best buddies since I met him, basically. I put an ad in the newspaper, and he was too scared to call.
An ad in the paper for a bandmate?
Yeah, it was before, like,
you
know, Facebook and all that kind of stuff. I put an ad in the paper for looking for band members. And
that's how it was done back then.
Yeah. So this guy's mom called me and said my son is too scared to call. So so I was like, yeah, for sure, put him on.
No way.
And that's how we met. And he ended up standing up for me at my wedding, and I stood up for him for his wedding.
Wow.
And we've been just best buddies for ever since. And so he's my drummer, and then our bass player is a guy that I know from, I guess not from church, but from back in the old days. And then he's kind of lives a different life and goes to a different church, and we had a lot in common back then, and now we have a lot in common now. And he's just a super good bass player, stay at home, just, you know, really, really solid, good guy. I have a piano player, Diane, and her harmonies are phenomenal.
Oh, good.
And our guitar player is a young Filipino guy. He's actually went to school with my oldest daughter.
Okay.
So I love this guy, and we call him Noodles. And the big joke is it's not because I'm Asian. I was like, I didn't say it. He said it. And it's, you know, because he noodles around, and he's such a good guitar player.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the the violin fiddle player, Jill, and she's amazing too. And she's our newest member.
Okay.
And yeah, and then myself, of course.
Yeah.
And I sing and do a little bit of acoustic, but
yeah.
You know, it's funny, like if I'd have learned the guitar while I was singing, because I learned really late in life. Like I never even picked up my guitar until I was like, same as you, 24.
Really?
25. I wanted the very first song that I learned on the guitar to be one I wrote. So that's exactly what happened. I wrote a song, and that was the first song I learned.
Well, you got to play that song today.
I may. It's a little bit of a slow one. It's a little tough to...
Oh, no slow songs allowed. Sorry.
No slow songs?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, I was like,
that's your rule,
yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
right.
Yeah.
That's my wife's rule. Yeah.
Oh,
she doesn't understand. I went to a Paul Brandt concert when I was younger. Isn't everything you do when you were younger?
Yesterday was then.
Yeah. And he came to Lloyd, and I remember him saying, he was like, I'm playing a slow song. And I know you guys only want to hear the fast songs, but I've got the microphone, and what are you going to do about it? And he said, I love the slow songs. They make me happy. And I'm like, yes, I get it. I'm right where you are.
Yeah.
And this guy's, like playing all over the country. And now, so I say it too. Except sometimes you got to be careful, because if you say, well, what are you going to do about it? They might leave, right?
Yeah.
Because who are you?
Yeah, maybe. Well, my first song was a bossa nova.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I can't say I've ever written one of those.
No. It surprises people.
But maybe I will.
Play it. Yeah. You should.
Yeah,
They're so fun.
Yeah, we will together. How about?
Yeah.
We will have to get together.
Yeah.
I know that you're doing songwriting circles and stuff, and I'm always never able to
come.
The
last Tuesday of every month. We should do some songwriting together.
Okay, we will.
Yeah.
We will.
Kenny Mac doing a country bossa nova.
Yeah, country bossa nova. Exactly. Or we could do a heavy metal version.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
So you were 24 when you wrote your first song on the guitar. What guitar were you playing at the time?
Well, it was a I can't even remember what make it was. It was a pawn shop guitar, like 3/4 size guitar. And
okay.
My mom had bought it for me for one Christmas, and
how long did you keep it for?
A long time.
Did you do? Okay.
She probably bought it for me when I was 19 or 20, and I never learned a single chord on it. And one day I really just wanted to, like I always was meaning to, and I'm like, well, I want to, and I learned a few chords. I learned like G and C and D and E minor, and
you're off to the races with E minor, right? It's like,
so I was like, well, if I can play these chords, and I, just kind of go back and forth, and I'm like, I want the very first song I ever learned, because I'm, it's the dawning of the home internet age. So like you can almost find chords anywhere. But I didn't want to learn another song until I wrote one. Mm-hmm. I wanted to forever be able to say I wrote the first song I ever learned. So I did. Yeah. And it was called Broken, and it's still probably the best song I've ever written. Like it goes into the falsetto. It's a nice heartbreak kind of sad song that we're talking about that you don't want to write or whatever, but it will definitely end up on a recording before I'm done for sure. And then that was that was the beginning of basically, after that it was like there's no way I could go back singing to a karaoke track and I don't mean like. So you
sang a lot before that?
I sang a lot, just kind of, I was doing shows with karaoke backing tracks on cassettes.
Wow.
I don't want to date myself, but,
You just did.
I just did, yeah. And so I do like some old folks' homes, and I did a show in the mall, and I did a high school reunion one time, and, it was fun, and it was, but I just knew, like, to be, like taken as a musician, I'm not a musician. Like nobody's going to look at that person and say, wow, they're a good musician, right? Like you basically have to have your guitar with you. You have to have, it's got to be some kind of live music, right?
So how many guitars have you had along the way? Are you a kind of a keeper or a trader?
I'm definitely a keeper. Like this one here that I have here.
Okay.
I've had since 2014 or 15, I think. And I was always looking around, and until then I kind of was a trader, just kind of not a trader, but I'd sell one and get a different one. And
yeah.
I really had it in my head that I wanted a Gibson SJ200, like a super jumbo.
Yeah.
And I was at Myers Music in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And I was trying out some guitars, and I had a little bit of money. I had one electric guitar that I was trying to sell, and I was going to use the money for that. Or I think I did sell it, and I had the money for that, and it was, I think, $2,500 is what I had. And this guitar that I really wanted was somewhere around $4,000. So at the time, and
wow. Must have been a nice guitar.
Well, it was, and I knew that I knew that it was going to be the one that I was going to keep for forever. Like I may get other ones, but that was going to be the one that was going to be the main one. And so I told the guy, I was like, I just want to try some guitars, but I don't want to know the prices. I just want to hear what they sound like. I don't want to be influenced by how much it costs or what it, like. So I narrowed it down to 3 that I was like, and I was going to give this guy a layaway, sort of give him the $2,500 and then pay the rest over time.
Yeah, is
what I had planned to do. And one of the 3 guitars was this one, and it's Gibson custom Songwriter Deluxe, and it's just a beautiful sounding. And I couldn't believe that it sounded so big for such a kind of dreadnought style guitar, right? And I mean, if you look at it, it's really pretty. It's got a lot of nice inlay in there. It sounded great. And it was one of the 3 I chose, and it was actually used. So it was secondhand. It wasn't brand new, and it was $2,500.
So there was no layaway.
I went home with that guitar, and it was like, I love this guitar, and I still to this day like this. I'll never get rid of this guitar. Mm-hmm. Like I'll die, and then somebody else who hopefully will play it, not just keep in their closet. It'll be somebody hopefully that will play the guitar. Will get the guitar so that it needs to be played, right? Yeah. And whoever is to get this, when I pass away, will get, pretty much the essence of who I was, right? So it'll be a good gift to pass on to somebody when I move on. It's just a guitar, which I should write a song about that.
It's not just a guitar.
But it is just a guitar until I hold it, until I play it. Then it's me, it's an extension of me.
I heard a guy tell a story about how he held the guitar and he smelled it. Mm-hmm. And then he sang a song about the smell of his dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was his dad's guitar. It was an amazing songwriter.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. It has that smell.
Does it have to smell it? I'd love to smell that sometime. I got a new guitar.
You can smell it now if you want.
I would like to. So I got this guitar last month. Ooh. Doesn't smell very good.
It's nice. Really?
No.
What about?
Try it.
You should put one. You should put one of those.
I was gonna burn a cigarette inside of it.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't smell great.
Is that Kona wood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the wood that makes it smell like how it smells. So maybe you just got
It's just new.
Just a nasty tree or something.
It smells new. But this song that the guy sang was just ripped your heart out. You could smell every cigarette from every bar that
try this one then.
He played in, and and it was just like, everyone's crying.
Oh.
Wow.
See?
That has a scent. Like it. This is a real thing. Okay. Did you smell it?
Yeah. Well, not just now.
Well, you should.
I'm gonna.
It's the essence of who you are.
I don't know.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. I'm gonna have to ask Justin, our cameraman, if I could try that one too.
Justin, do you want to smell my
This is what musicians do.
Anyway,
anyhow,
I think that's the first time I've had a guitar smelling.
Welcome to the program.
Yes,
that's really great.
I hope there's people at home that are grabbing their guitars right now.
Yeah, right now. Have you ever cleaned out the inside of your guitar before?
Yeah, I have. And
how do you do it?
Just with soft rag or whatever.
What do you do? Okay.
So I noticed that like the overall smell of a guitar is basically it's the tone woods that they use. And so if I were to put, which I don't and I should, but those little humidifier things in there, when it's humid, like around probably, between 40 and 50, then the smell of the wood really comes out, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, I love it. It's just so crazy. It's almost like have you ever been in a humidor, a walk-in humidor where they store cigars?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that smell is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Like, they're not smoking cigars in there, but it's just, there's so many different smells in there, and it's
things happening, and your senses are kind of like,
like you need to make a cologne. I'd like to smell like that walking around,
Careful, you could trademark that. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know it's not a guitar, but with fiddles, I kind of heard that you can put rice in it, and I wonder if you could do that with, if you don't want to use a dry rag or a wet rag, you could actually put a cup of rice and just shake it.
Oh yeah.
And then you dump it all out, and it's like covered in dust and hair and whatever else comes out. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
I might try that.
Yeah.
Like basmati rice or minute rice?
Yeah, whatever you feel.
It doesn't matter. Maybe the basmati rice is a little bit longer.
Yeah, the long grain.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It would be great to do it with white, whatever you do, not with the darker rice, because then you can see how dirty it is, right?
Yeah.
I did that with my grandpa's fiddle.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, and I poured it out onto a contrasting surface, right? Yeah. It was really interesting.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't really get all the way in there, I guess you could if your hands were really small, but...
Yeah. Well, most people are okay with cobwebs if you can't see them. Right?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Hey, there's a song there, probably.
I'm okay with cobwebs if I don't see them. Yeah, I like that.
There's a one-liner. I'll write it down.
Yeah, you got to write it down.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This has been really great. Are you ready to play some music for everyone?
I am. Isn't that what we came for?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. All right, well, this first song is a song that I was talking about earlier. So this is the one I wrote from the perspective of a cancer survivor, if they were taken in a Relay for Life, or how they might feel. And it's called The Battle Marlene Song. Summertime and the breeze falls over us tonight. I know it's late. Just wanna look into your eyes and see you smile again. I'm not afraid. Waiting on the sun all night long. It comes up, I won't be gone. No, I won't. Wrapped in a blanket under the sky, there's a chill creeping in, but I'm not cold. Kept warm by the thought that you're still mine. And who'd ever dream that now we can grow old? We've waited on the sun oh so long. And it came up, man, we were strong, holding on. Now every time you close your eyes, I'll be there. I will never leave you alone. Oh, I swear. Now we can be the ones to prove that it can be done. time was all we had. What really mattered then was how much we could make. Took a time hopelessly sad to make us understand what a foolish mistake. We've waited on the sun oh so long. When they came up, man, we were strong and so in love. Now every time you close your eyes, I'll be there. We can take the world by storm on a prayer. Now we will be the ones to prove that it can be done. What a battle we will show the world we won. We've won. Yeah, yeah, I know we've won. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Summertime and the breeze falls over us tonight. I'm not afraid. And that was, yeah. This next song I'm gonna do is a song that I wrote about regrets and overcoming them called At Least I'll Know. Now I was 10, that bully came, the schoolyard renegade. He pushed me down and cut my eye. I was so afraid. If I'd have stood up, he might have backed right off, and he might have left me alone. So even if he'd knocked me out, at least I'd know. I didn't ask that girl out when I was just 15. I knew she had her eye on me. I was so afraid, and I might have been the boy of her dreams, but I let that beauty go. So even if she laughed at me, at least I'd know. At least I'd know about loving without the fear of pain. At least I wouldn't have any regrets today. At least I'd know about living without the fear I'd fail. If I weren't afraid to take a chance, at least I'd know. When I was 18, my daddy called to fix the mess he made. He wanted a chance to be my friend. I was so afraid, and he might have loved me like I've always needed. My wounded pride told him no. So even if he hadn't walked away again, at least I'd know. Oh! Here I am, still chasing this dream, and it ain't no hit parade. It's been so long, I just might fail. Lord, I'm so afraid, but I won't be in my deathbed, a regretful, bitter John Doe. If I ain't got just what it takes, at least I'll know. At least I'll know about loving without the fear of pain. At least a chance, at least I'll know. At least I'll know. At least I'll know. All right, so I'm gonna do one more song. And so this is a song I was talking about earlier, about my ex-girlfriend. I wrote this song, well, kind of about two different ex-girlfriends, but it's more predominantly for the one ex-girlfriend. Anyway, it's called You're Just a Woman. You look at me like I should still be feeling something. Yeah, like I'd just be hanging on for years. Yeah, it's true that once you were my angel. Girl, you made me cry a million tears. Girl, you still look good in them old blue jeans. And I'll admit your top is smoking too. You think I'll succumb to all your evil ways. This'll shock the devil out of you. You're just a woman, what else can I say? Your Goldilocks and big green eyes aren't gonna work today. You're just a woman, dozen for a dime. So get on that high horse and ride to you know where tonight. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate women. I've been known to love me one or two. When I find one, she'll be a lady, not a heartless lunatic like you. You act like it's a revelation that I didn't really say these words to you. Girl, I'd rather die alone with peace of mind than miserable with what you'd put me through. So you're just a woman, what else can I say? Your Goldilocks and big green eyes aren't gonna work today. You're just a woman, dozen for a dime. So thank you for your precious time. Don't think that I will give you mine. Get up on that broom and fly to you know where tonight. Yes, so that is it. That was You're Just a Woman.
Well, Kenny, it's been really great talking to you today. Thanks so much for coming into the Fourth Meridian Brewing Company.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I mean, the pleasure is all mine. It was an honor to be here.